How's it going, everybody? It's Mike Solomon here again, and today is New Year's Eve. That's right, it is December 31st, 2017, about to ring in the new year. This is the perfect day for you to go drink if you're of age and have fun and party with your friends, and I'll be doing the same tonight. But, as I said in my earlier video, this is video 2 of the day. Earlier I went over my top 10 worst moments in the WWE for 2017, but right now I'm going to go over my top 10 best moments in the WWE for 2017. Now, again, this list is just by me and has no other real tie-ins. No one else has given me opinions or anything like that. So, in the end, this is just one Mark that just absolutely loves wrestling, giving you his opinion. It has to mean nothing to you. You can argue in the comments with me or yell at me and tell me how stupid I am all you want. I'll eat it up. At least I'm getting attention. And that's why we're here. Anyway, let's get right into it with my number 10. And number 10 has to be number 10. Tye Dillinger. Being entry number 10 in the Royal Rumble. Come on. Perfect. You gave the fans what they wanted. You got that cheap pop out of the crowd for the Royal Rumble. You brought in some NXT talent into the Rumble, especially when you did dirty what you did later, which we went over in a previous video, with Roman Reigns in at 30 instead of Samoa Joe. But I digress. The whole point here is that was the perfect choice. Now, hopefully, they can start utilizing Tye Dillinger better. He has a lot of talent, and I think if they actually, tried to do something with him in, 2018, we could see something big come from him. But until then, all I've really got is that little cheap pop from the Royal Rumble, and I'll take that to the bank for the 2017 this year. Number 9. We've got the Sami Zayn heel turn. Now listen, I know that a lot of you might actually want this or a variation of this to be maybe somewhere lower down, like a lower number on my list, scoring higher. But forgive me, I've got a lot of other things I feel were bigger as a whole. But what a good thing for Sami. When you have Kevin Owens going against Shane McMahon, and a pretty solid storytelling-wise, not exactly in performance in my opinion, Hell in a Cell match, you get that Kevin Owens going to the top and being, it seemed, afraid to jump off the top of the cell, but then you get Shane McMahon, big spot Shane O'Mac, deciding he needs to jump off the top of the cell, in his accelerating age. He's at least in his 50s, right? I don't think I'm wrong in guessing that. I haven't looked it up, I'll be honest with you. He doesn't need to be, he's got a wife and kids, right? You don't need to be jumping off cells, did it anyway. Sami Zayn comes and saves Kevin Owens, pulls him off the table. Beautiful work. Sami Zayn's always been the perfect babyface. You want to cheer for the guy. He's a likable character. To make it so his angle is that he feels that all us, the fans that have been doing that for him, well, we clearly haven't got him anywhere. So even if he was over with us, it didn't matter. It doesn't work. So why not just try to take what you want? It's such a good angle. You get that really good banter between him and Kevin Owens. The yep movement, beautiful. Come on. So I really hope this goes well for Sami into the next year. But we'll see what happens with that. Number 8 is the Hardy Boys return. Again, I almost didn't believe it would happen. They had a ladder match, in a different wrestling, promotion. They had a hell of a ladder match the night before WrestleMania. For them to show up and have another match is mind-blowing, and let alone the fact that, you had a crowd that popped as loud as they did. Just the things we've gotten from it since then. It's nice to have them around in general. It's a shame that Jeff did get hurt. But from that, it seems we're now finally getting the woken, not broken, woken Matt Hardy. It's going to be a similar gimmick, similar idea. Hopefully they get to borrow or keep a lot of the stuff from the broken angle and make it into the woken angle. But had the Hardy Boys never returned, which got a huge pop from the crowd and the fans, people like me loving it, we wouldn't get to see what Matt Hardy with the woken gimmick could possibly bring into 2018. So, yeah, huge moment there. Number 7, I was going to stay away from the whole NXT side of things, only because I feel a lot of my friends and fans of my videos, the few that I have at the moment, are mostly main roster watchers. However, I would probably hate myself if I were to skip Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream. What a match. A lot of people are booking it as the feud or the match that we didn't know we needed, but absolutely needed. You know, we didn't know we wanted it, but we needed this. And storytelling was beautiful. From like that angle alone is the biggest selling point. I mean, there was plenty of really cool high spots in the match, but just like the borrowing of each other's taunts, the whole thing just being that Velveteen Dream wanted Aleister Black to say his name. That was such a beautiful, like, such a different angle from most stuff we see in wrestling. And they put on a hell of a match. Like, literally, if you can find a way to go find it on YouTube or go to the WWE Network and watch it, do so. It's a phenomenal match. You will not be disappointed. The storytelling is great. Number 6, the Beach Ball Murder. Okay, SummerSlam. You know how fans can be, how the crowds can get. Sometimes they're not in it, especially around SummerSlam. Well, they had the beach ball. And the beach ball sometimes gets going. I've been in a crowd once where the beach ball got going. It was bad enough that the Usos and New Day match had come before the Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus, going against Seth and Dean. However, this was a hell of a way, in my opinion, to save that match. Both matches were great. The Usos and the New Day obviously putting on a barn burner, as they do every match that they're ever in with each other. But the moment that Cesaro jumps the barricade, gets that beach ball, and just rips it apart like it killed his family, just like like it deserved this. Like, it was a beautiful moment. It's something you don't get in WWE. With house shows, with smaller venues, a lot of it is like you as the crowd aren't just there to see a story play out. You're part of it. Like, they'll interact with your taunts. They'll like you say something and a heel will fire back at you verbally, and it makes you feel like you're in like you matter. Having Cesaro just in the heat of the moment decide he's jumping that barricade and rip that beach ball apart. Beautiful. Perfect. I loved every minute of it, and I don't care what anyone tells me, it's going in my top 10, and it is sitting right here comfortably in the middle. I have no regrets for that. It was beautiful. I will say that till the day I die. And I never thought I'd say this next sentence. Number 5 in my top 10 best things for WWE in 2017 is meningitis. Meningitis, the mumps, whatever it was, whatever viral infection was affecting the roster it was at TLC. Both Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt were unable to compete, almost like literally they had like a week to make changes to the pay-per-view. Now, luckily, I think it's one of the biggest things for one main huge reason. That reason is the fact that it got us away from the Sister Abigail, Pumpkin King Balor match that was about to happen. And I think that's a blessing for both stars, even if Bray still hasn't recovered. But beyond that, it let us see one of the arguably matches of the year, in my opinion, where you get two scrappy young guys in AJ Styles and Finn Balor going head-to-head with that Too Sweet right in there. I mean, it was beautiful. I loved it. I ate it up. And then you also, not as exciting to me personally, but you had Kurt Angle coming back and being like an honorary Shield member for the match. It wasn't a bad match. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I just, you didn't need to bring Kurt back now. I think there was you could have found a different answer, but it was that might have saved that pay-per-view in a sense, because I don't think otherwise I would have been as excited like that especially when you got that AJ match there. When you have AJ come in on a red eye, like, even though some of the spots could have been better, you probably could have got more from those two. I still think it literally, to me, it's probably because I appreciate the lengths AJ Styles had to go to get in for that match, and they still put on quality work. Like, that's top sportsmanship. That's a reason you hire those guys. And it's the reason that Finn Balor should be counted as over. God, I will never let that die. Number 4, the UK tournament and the Mae Young Classic. Now, I'm not going to go into detail into either one of these too much, because if you haven't seen the matches in either one of these, I'm sure you can find them. I'm sure WWE Network or YouTube will have them. Good matches in every step of the way through the entire thing. And we've gotten some good stars on NXT that have come from that. those tournaments, and it's big for the fact that now, like, there's rumor that there's going to be a show constantly in the UK that they're going to do that's WWE Stars. That's awesome. A lot of the women from the Mae Young Classic also just having a tournament that was all female wrestlers. Also another awesome step in the right direction for WWE to take. It's so big. There's so much stuff coming from, like, for the women mainly, as I said, coming up in WWE right now. Perfect. And I'm just really excited that they did that. So, I'm not going to go into much more detail. Please go and watch those. You got a lot of stars. I don't want to spoil anything, so please go and enjoy every match in that whole tournament. Both tournaments. Number 3. The Festival of Friendship. Oh my goodness. If there isn't a way to say that this is the perfect storytelling angle that you can have for just like a friendship such as Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, I don't know what could be better than the way they did this. You just, like, I mean, you had all the, like, the glitz and the glamour that Jericho brought into things, only to have him, like, the shock and disappointment when he finally saw the Owens' list and realizes his name was on the list and that their friendship was over and it was leading to their match at WrestleMania. Just what a fantastic angle. I will talk about that all the time. Absolutely love the way they did that. Number 2. My number 2 on the list is, as I wrote in my notes that I'm looking at over here, I'm not finished with you. And I think it's just going to be summed up as where Braun Strowman just became, like, his comic book superhero-esque style run. Like, his just monster of getting a hold of Roman Reigns and almost being the avatar of the audience, if you will, and just acting on what they were feeling a lot of the time with just not liking Roman, just tossing Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' selling ability is never highlighted, by the way. What a job at selling this whole scene, with getting just tossed around and slammed into things, and got at one point put on a stretcher and thrown down the staircase, and, you know, I'm not finished with you, and Braun Strowman just tipping the entire ambulance. If you were gonna start making Braun look like a monster, this was the absolute best way to do it. And oh my, the flipping the ambulance is, like, one of the biggest things. Like, I wanted to put that as a thing on its own, but I'll stick with just the whole scene as a whole, and having like the way it's pushed Braun, and just the whole feud they had was actually really good. Beautiful work, and again, sad to say it's number 2. It was going to be number 1, but my number 1 top 10 best thing in WWE for 2017 is the just, and I'm sorry to say, phenomenal run of AJ Styles this year. Just the feuds that he's pulled out of people, the matches that he's had. He's made Jinder look good. He's had a phenomenal match with Brock Lesnar. He now has the title going into 2018 as well. There's just, AJ Styles has cemented himself as literally the best talent in WWE as we speak. There's nobody better than him, and this is not just like he's probably the best in the world, arguably the best in the world. There's plenty of people in New Japan Pro Wrestling. We can make a video about it sometime if you'd like. I can highlight some of the big names in New Japan that could technically be on par with him. I mean, Kenny Omega is a big name you're going to hear a lot, and I could put Kenny Omega up on that list too. AJ Styles has just made, I mean, short of, the only time he didn't look phenomenal this year was whenever he was kind of back and forth with Kevin Owens with the United States title, and that's more so because it shouldn't have been the United States title on the line. You give me that type of angle for the main title, and I'm much more invested in it. They just kind of didn't do it, probably because of the Mahal thing. Hopefully they never make that mistake again. But my number 1 is basically just AJ Styles. Everything he's done. That's my number 1 in the year for WWE 2017. But what's your number 1s? What's your number 1 for your top 10 best? What's your number 1 for your top 10 worst? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Hopefully you guys just have a wonderful new year, and I want to thank you all for everything you guys have done lately. I've been getting a lot more views on some of my videos, whether it be music, these reviews, my Mike Tries videos, which I will be getting back into within the new year. I just want to thank you guys so much for everything you've done, and again, I hope you guys have a wonderful, perfect New Year's. Be safe if you're out partying, drive safe if you're anywhere in Pennsylvania, especially if you're up in Erie. I'm not up there, don't worry, but like they got like 50 some inches of snow. That's nuts. I just wanted to bring that up. Anyway, be safe. Have a happy new year. I'll see you guys on the other side in 2018. I promise you. So, yeah, take it easy.